Who do you need to forgive? And what is holding you back from doing so? How does holding to resentment affect your emotional well being? What would it feel like to fully release this burden of resentment? Welcome to the Summer Reset Challenge, friend, where we embark on an extraordinary journey of spiritual growth and mindset transformation. Today is week number 5 of the challenge, and on this episode, we will explore forgiveness and its power to move us forward to create the life we want. Because, friend, this summer, it's time to shine. And before we dive into the episode, I want to remind you that the Facebook community, Rewired to Align, is open and ready for you to join. This community is dedicated to personal growth, to spirituality, and the transformative power of neurocoaching. And you can connect with like minded people. You can share insights of what you're learning here in this beautiful summer reset and embark of a journey of the self discovery together. It's a great opportunity to find support and to find new friends, maybe people that live in your same city that are part of the group. Okay, I'm going to leave the link in the show notes for you to join the Facebook community. Also, remember that my website, michellemaripacheco.com, has a lot of free resources that you can use right now. And there is a tab where you can apply for one-on-one coaching sessions, which are going to start mid-July. And it's going to be transformational, so go ahead and visit. I'm also going to leave this link for you in the show notes. Now, let's get started with week 5 of the Summer Reset Challenge.
Hello, beautiful soul. What beliefs do you hold about yourself that might be limiting your potential? In what areas of your life do you feel you are not living authentically? What fears prevent you from expressing your true self? In what ways do you feel disconnected from your higher self, and what beliefs contribute to this disconnection? Welcome to Neuro Soul Sync, a podcast that blends neuroscience and spirituality, exploring the connection of our spiritual and emotional lives with the neuroscience of our bodies and brain. I'm Michelle Marie, your host, certified spiritual neurocoach, IVF twin mompreneur, lover of human design, and all things personal development. A few years ago, I felt exactly like that, yearning to live on purpose and authentically. I wanted to live fearlessly, prioritizing my needs and creating a life aligned to my core values and beliefs. And I was able to master this through neuroplasticity, spirituality, energetics, and the exact simple tools I will share with you here. I believe that when we are in alignment with who we are, life transforms from stuck and resistant to a journey of flow, impacting not only ourselves, but the collective consciousness. So if you're ready to get in the driver's seat of your life, live with authenticity, and discover simple yet powerful solutions that will guide you from feeling stuck to fulfill, this is your sacred space. Let's get ready to vibe high, align, and manifest.
Welcome to the podcast, friend. Welcome to Neuro Soul Sync and the Summer Reset Challenge. Today is week number 5. I'm hoping this journey has been good for you, has been transformative, that you're enjoying the weekly exercises, that you have friends that are joining you, because we need accountability if we want to start creating habits that are going to move the needle in our lives. Remember that. Also, I want to remind you to leave me your feedback with your comments and tag me at Michelle Marie Pacheco. If you share on stories, you can use the hashtag Summer Reset. So make sure that you are sharing. Please, please, please. Anyway, how do you feel about forgiveness? Because this is a tough one. This is a hard one that I find that some of my clients are a little adamant about it. When we start the forgiveness process, it's like, oh my God, do I really need to forgive? Do I? Do I really need to? But you know what, beautiful soul? Yes, forgiveness is essential for emotional freedom. So this week, you're going to engage in the process of letting go. I know what you're thinking. Don't look at me like that. I know that you're looking at your podcast app with a weird face right now. But actually, the process of letting go can lighten your heart and your mind. And by forgiving others and yourself, you're going to create space for healing and personal growth. And trust me, I have done this. And it took me, I went through a huge process actually. I had to really, I remember being really angry when I was a kid to my dad because my father, my parents were not together, were separated. So I didn't grow up with a present dad. And then he had a new family and I was jealous of the new family. So I went through a lot of, anger, teenage anger and all that. So I had to deal with that a lot. I went through a process I did 3 months of life spring and then 6 months and then one full year. So I basically focus on that anger that I had because you cannot live with anger and not forgiving people. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So let's do it, friend. Let's work this week on forgiveness. Open your heart, keep an open mind, listen to this podcast, and just do it. You're going to feel lighter. Trust me. Forgiving and releasing are important because they allow us to let go of negative emotions like anger and resentment, which weigh us down. It creates stress. Our body feels, tight energetically. We're blocking our chakras. It just I don't even know how to explain it to you because there are studies made that have shown that it hinders our spiritual growth, our emotional growth, and physically it can bring disease. So let's work on this week on forgiveness. And let me tell you, forgiveness does not mean forgetting. I'm not telling you to forget. What I'm telling you is to forgive. And forgiveness also does not mean condoning or excusing offenses. You are not obligated to reconcile with the person who harmed you or release them from legal accountability. What we're doing here, and by forgiving, what we're doing is we are freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of past hurts. It's an emotional and energetic liberation. It's like we're setting ourselves free, and it's leading to improved mental health and overall well being. This process fosters healing. It promotes personal growth and enhances our relationships by encouraging understanding and compassion. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it will change our future. And if you're into manifesting, you know that in order for us to receive and manifest faster, we have to let go and we have to forgive. Those energetics have to be taken care of, my friend. Yes. So let's talk about forgiveness in relations to neuroscience and spirituality. Forgiveness has significant effects on our brain. It helps reduce stress by calming the amygdala, and this is a part of the limbic brain that process fear and anxiety. This is where you go into fight, flight, or freeze. This is the amygdala. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. So this calming effect leads to lower levels of anxiety and a greater sense of peace. And don't you want peace in your life? Because I love peace in my life. Additionally, when we forgive, there is increased activity in the prefrontal cortex. Do you remember where the prefrontal cortex was? In the front part of our brain, just behind our forehead. And this increased activity helps us make better decisions and manage our emotions. And spiritually, forgiveness is linked to inner peace and a deeper sense of connection with others. It encourages empathy, it encourages understanding, and it makes it easier to relate to those around us. Forgiveness also helps with releasing negative feelings and unblocking stagnant energy in our body. So the energy through our chakras, our energy centers, which we have more than 7, can flow better. It also raises our vibrational frequency, and this shift can attract healthier relationship experiences. In a nutshell, friend, who wants to live with resentment and anger, knowing it negatively impacts our physical, emotional, and energetic body? No one. I don't think you want to live like that, right? I think what we want to do is to explore where we hold resentment and where we hold anger, and just take the time to do the forgiveness practice that I am going to give you. You can do this practice more than once because forgiveness takes time, but it will feel, your body's going to feel so lighter when you start releasing these energies, like all this weight in your shoulders that sometimes you have and you don't know what it is. It might be that resentment, that anger. And this practice is going to help you. So before we move forward with the practice that I am going to give you, I suggest that you grab pen and paper or use your journal. If you have that journal from week 1 that I told you to buy, grab that journal because the practice has several steps. But before we move forward, remember that you can leave me a review of the podcast. It's been a while and I love your feedback. It's a way to support me because by leaving a review, that's how people find this beautiful podcast. Also, you can share it with your friends. Just send the link. Actually, in my website, michellemaripacheco.com, on the tab that it says podcast, I have all the different places that you can listen. And you can listen also over there in my website. Also, I wanted to remind you that the Facebook community Rewired to Align is open and ready for you and your friends to join. And you can share all the insights that you have found throughout this summer reset challenge right there and meet new people that are like-minded, like you, like me, that are going through this process, or personal development junkies like me, right? We always want to keep growing and keep being the best version of ourselves so that we can create the true, beautiful, magnificent, abundant life that we deserve. So I'm going to leave the link in the show notes for you to check both out, the Facebook community and the website. Now let's get to that homework. Okay, beautiful soul. What I want you to do this week is the following. Think about someone you need to forgive, even if it's yourself. Just choose one person that has done you wrong. Just one person. Let's start with one person. And maybe if you have a big trauma, let's not use that big trauma. Let's start with one person that has done harm to you that you still hold resentment, and then you can work your way up, right? Because once you start forgiving and releasing, then you can bring in the big guys, the big guns, right? The big people, the people that really harm you and that you feel that you cannot forgive, right? Starting with people that you hold resentment to, you can work your way up if that is a situation that is, that you're going through. Now, these are going to be several steps. So I recommend that if you don't have a journal, you come back to this episode and this minute, make sure that you know the minute so that you can write down all the steps. The first step is going to be to write a letter to that person or even to yourself if you choose yourself, right? Even if you have to forgive yourself for something. I want you to take the time in writing this letter and I want you to be super honest. I want you to write down everything. I want you to express your feelings like super honestly without any judgment. Write down how that person hurt you and the emotions you experience. Like, you make me feel this way. And when you talked to me that way, you made me feel like this, or you did this and you made me feel like that, without any judgment. And make it, not PG-13. You want to go all out. You want to express yourself and your emotions clearly. And you also want to clearly state what you need to forgive. This could be the actions of the person, this could be the situation itself, or even your own reactions. That's going to be your first step, this letter that you're going to leave everything down in that letter. Now, the next step is to offer that forgiveness. Transition into a forgiveness statement. You might write something like, I choose to forgive you for whatever the actions or the feelings are. I release the hold you have on my emotions, because this is what we want. We want to release the hold they have in our emotions. We're giving them the power indirectly without even knowing what we're doing. So you can say that. You can say, I choose to forgive you for X, Y, and Z. I release the hold you have on my emotions. Acknowledge that forgiving doesn't mean condoning the behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of negative emotions. That's what we want, to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves, to release it. After you offer forgiveness, the next step is to set the intention. You can end the letter by stating your intentions to move forward. For example, I intend to let go of this pain and embrace peace and healing. I intend to let go of this pain and embrace peace and healing. And once you have done your intention, it is time to release. You can do several things here. You can choose to keep the letter, which I don't highly recommend, because then you're keeping the energy of that letter, which is not cool. So do not keep the letter. It's better if you do like a symbolic act of release. For example, you can burn the letter safely, of course. Don't go burning down the house, or you can bury it. And, when you do that, you're going to be also, it's like it signifies the release of those emotions that were holding you back. And this is a powerful, energetic exercise, and I have done it before. And I chose to burn the letter. And it's so powerful. A lot of people practice this one. Now, once you have burned or buried or even ripped the letter and throw it out, I wanted you to take the time for reflection. You want to spend a few moments in silence to notice how you feel. And you can allow any emotions that arise to surface. You can cry if you need to, right? Because we need to feel the feels. We cannot shove them under the carpet. We need to feel the feels. The thing about this is that what we want to do is we want to release the emotions that have been holding us back. And after that moment of reflection and release, make sure that you go and do a little self-care, right? You want a self-care activity. You can go for a walk, you can meditate, you can do breath work, you can take a beautiful shower, a beautiful bath. And what this does is that it's going to reinforce your commitment to healing. This is also going to give you some space for you to probably do a little prayer of letting go. So remember that forgiveness is a journey, and although this is a powerful exercise, it might take time to fully let go. So you want to revisit this practice whenever you need to. If you have to do it twice this week because you have some really heavy energetic charge that is holding you, you want to do that. And then the next week, you might want to do it again until you truly and fully feel that you have let go. All right, beautiful soul. This is week number 5, and this one is a very emotional week. So I want you to also take the time to give love to yourself, to have compassion, to spend time with yourself and doing that beautiful self-care activity after you do this exercise. And just a reminder that each week builds on the next. And what we want to do here is to make this a lifestyle. We want to be able to do all these exercises that we have done throughout the Summer Reset Challenge a lifestyle, because we're always going to have limiting beliefs, right? And we are always going to have to work through them. We're going to have people that are going to probably do harm to us, and we have to learn how to forgive in a quicker way. This is all going to be a lifestyle, and you're going to be able to feel gratitude and be mindful and release limiting beliefs and do your forgiveness practice, etc., etc. It's going to come to you as second nature. That's what we want. Okay. And please remember to share your journey with me in social. You can follow me on Instagram. Have you been following me on Instagram? I am Michelle Maripacheco. That's my handle, Michelle Maripacheco. And if you share any of these exercises in social in your stories, you can use the hashtag Summer Reset, because I love when you share with me your journey. And also you can share it in the Facebook group. Remember that group is open and ready for you to join. Thank you for joining me today. It is my wish that this episode serves and blesses you. I hope that you forgive, and that you let go, allowing yourself to find peace, to find healing, so you can embrace the present with a lighter heart and a renewed sense of joy. Join me next week where we will be exploring vision and intentions. Until next time, keep syncing your mind and soul to create a life in alignment. I'm sending you love.
I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard helped you, the number one way you can thank me is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. My mission is that you feel empowered and more spiritually connected after listening, so your feedback means the world to me. Just scroll down to where it says write a review and leave me yours. And if you love what Neuro Soul Sync is about, please share with your family and friends. I believe the world becomes a better place when we come together collectively to make the change. I look forward to be with you next week.